Hello everyone, welcome to She Joy. It's your girl coming to you with another session of what you need to know. So you guys, if you're watching this video, then you looked at the title, or maybe not. But today what we are talking about is how to make changes using what we have, right? To manifest, which is our mind, our body, our environments, to create and co-create to make things happen in our lives. So did you guys know that millions of years ago, or many years ago, the world was actually full of one-celled individuals? Now, one cell in our body is very minute. It's microscopic even. Where you would have to literally use what's it called? Dang. You would have to use, one of those things to see. Now, single-celled organisms were once, abundant in this world. Then they figured out each cell had, an ATP. An ATP is an energy, basically it's like an energy bank account, okay? And each cell has this certain amount of energy, which is this ATP. Now, what they realized is that whenever those cells decided to evolve, they realized, okay, how do we move our one-celled organisms forward? They combined with like consciousness to form us, okay? It takes 50 trillion cells to make one of us. One human is 50 trillion cells. And each cell has an ATP. This is why human energy field is strong enough and equivalent to a nuke. Each one of us have enough energy that is basically like a nuclear energy that each one of us hold within our body, which is why they say we're so powerful. Now, evolution. Now, that we know that we're a part of this system and that we have 50 trillion cells. Now let's understand what epigenetics is. Epigenetics is, let's break it down. Epi means above. Genetics is hereditary. Genetics means the origin. So above the origin, which is what? Consciousness. So each one of those cells has a consciousness. It has its own brain, kind of. You know what I mean? But the brain, the actual brain, controls each one of those cells. But when the world was single-celled individuals, that is how they were governed, was by the field. Okay? So, so that is how we are formed. Okay? So we are formed with the understanding of cells. Okay, so later on, scientists discovered that genealogy discovered that our genes had DNA, and the DNA, which was the red cells, the blue cells, the atomic cells, and things of that nature, told us how we would be when we grew up. Like if you were an X or a Y, or if you're a red cell, or if you had 30 million red cells and 20 million blue cells, or however it worked. Our genes would tell us, oh, well, if this gene does this, then that means this. Okay? So that's saying that we were victims of our genes, right? Saying that like if your dad had diabetes, that you would have diabetes. But now we are understanding with scientific research in the 2022 that epigenetics is the thing, that the mind can control the body. And how this happens is if you use and understand Hebb's law. Hebb's law says cells that fire together wire together. So if when they fire together, then they wire together. Now mind you, we were all single-celled individuals at one point. But we fired together and we wired together 50 trillion cells and made us. So our brain does the same thing with our nervous system. whenever we think, you know, a negative situation, then our brain fires and wires together situations to make the chemicals for fight or flight, cortisone, adrenaline, things like that. Whenever we are in the energy of healing, we get serotonin, melatonin, you know, things like that. So, understanding that whenever they fire together, they wire together. Now, most people use the understanding of an experience to bring them emotion, right? So, like, you might feel like, you know, I'm going to fall in love, and then when I'm in love, I'm going to be happy. You know, or when I'm rich, I'm going to be happy. That doesn't actually bring happiness to that reality. Though it may bring you the money, it may bring you the relationship, it may not bring you the happiness that you are looking for. So what the understanding is that you want to create the emotion to then create the experience, to then create, you know, the actions and things like that, to keep that cycle going. Now, if you've been watching my videos, then you know that the frontal lobe is the 40% of the brain that is active, aware and conscious, creating for the future. The other 60% of the brain, minus the pineal gland, is subconscious, meaning the automatic programming that we have within our minds. Okay? The automatic programming is basically everything that you thought, felt, and did in the past that your body understands. For example, you were once taught how to eat. Now you don't even think about it, you just eat. You know what I mean? You were once taught how to drive. Now you don't think about it, you just drive. You know what I mean? So those become automatic programs that you automatically know how to do. Okay? Now, the frontal lobe can then trigger the subconscious mind to change its programming, which is why hypnosis is so profound, or meditation, because meditation and hypnosis are pretty much one and the same, with slight variations of things that you can do. And as you guys know, I work with meditation and hypnosis, so I'm rather keen to the understanding of the beta, theta, alpha, and delta, which are the phases of the, you know, the brain and everything. Okay, so there's an understanding that if you believe or act as if it is, then it will be. And this is because the laws of the universe and science say that what you believe, you receive. Because what you give is what you get. So whenever you give a certain positive emotion, then you receive that positive experience equal to that positive emotion, because we emit vibration. Because what is an atom? A cell is an atom of protein, an atom of waves, okay, because we are waves, we are proteins. So each cell individually moves. Each cell moves, okay? So we have a certain vibration to us, just like the universe does. Everything is vibrating, everything is moving. Everything. And the emotion is the chemical form of the experience. Okay? The emotion is the chemical form of the experience, which is why I say, you can say, oh, I'll be happy when I'm rich, but you might be rich and unhappy unless you already are happy when you get your richness. Then you stay happy and rich. You can have your cake and eat it too. Whenever you have your joy, you keep your joy. You know what I'm saying? You keep your joy with you when you have your abundance. Then you're abundantly abundant in a bunch of different ways. Okay? So, understanding that the emotion can create the experience, can help create the mental experience. Now, Yes, and by conditioning the body, you make it familiar to your body, so you can rewire. And once you can do one thing, you can do it again. So if you program your mind for one thing, you understand you can program your mind countless amount of times. This is why people put out music to have you programmed to think a certain way, to wear certain clothes, so that you profit them. Versus if you're watching programs of like Christianity, you might be programmed to be a certain type of way. Versus if you're programmed by TV, then you might think that certain way. Versus, if you consciously take control over your thoughts and you decide you're going to be a certain way, you're reprogramming your mind for that. Okay, so we are programmed and reprogrammed constantly by what you watch, by what goes into your subconscious, your conscious. All of those things help manifest. And before the age from 1 to 7, from birth to age 7, you're in hypnosis mode. So by the age of 7, you pretty much received all of the hypnosis that programs your mind, which is why they push certain things in school, which is why they push certain things on TV, certain musics, which is why it's important to pay attention to your kids and certain things during that time. Now, as an adult, you may not realize it, but you are already pre-programmed to think, feel, act the way that your parents programmed you. The way that they programmed you is more than likely the way that you are, unless you reprogrammed yourself. So if they told you, oh, don't do this, that, and that, and if you were grown and they programmed you to go outside all the time. Okay, well, then as an adult, you're probably something active, outdoorsy, something like that. Maybe they programmed you to, have manners. Or maybe to, love the elderly or love one another. So maybe you're a nurse, a doctor, a teacher. You know what I mean? So you're programming as a youth, like maybe you've seen your parents together. So you grew up and you had that. Maybe your parents weren't together. So maybe you grew up with the understanding of, oh, maybe that's the way that life is supposed to be. Each thing that you've seen, each thing that you watched, each thing that you knew, programmed a different program into the mind, into the subconscious, and co-created with your parents and with you and with God who you are now. Okay? So who you are now is all of that combined plus your own decisions that you've made. Now, how we reprogram that programming is first understanding this. Fear. There's nothing to fear but fear itself. And it's simple because fear weakens the immune system. Okay? But love strengthens the immune system. How do we know this? A, it's been scientifically proven. But B, because the heart is the most vital organ in the body. Without it, nothing. With it, everything. Okay? Next to the mind. Of course, the mind would be the second most important. But they work. You really can't live without either one. You know what I mean? So brain and heart coherence is important. Because the heart pumps the chemicals through the body, pumps the blood through the body, but the brain tells the heart what chemicals are being pushed through the brain, through the body, to the cells. Okay? Yeah. So it's intricate like that. Now, let me go back here. Now, the mind does not know the difference between a physical experience and a emotionally triggered image. Okay? Emotionally triggered image. So the brain doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's in the mind. All it knows is when you have an emotion, it's going to pump the chemicals equal to that emotion. So whenever you're joyful, it's going to pump the energy of that chemical into you. Versus if you're, maybe if you're scared, it might pump adrenaline through you. But mind you, you cannot sustain that energy for long because that energy contracts your body and it saves certain energies, okay? Versus whenever you do, decide to be in an energy of, maybe you're laughing, or maybe you're in the energy of healing, meditating, okay? So if you're meditating, then your body's going to give you those kind of results. So it's that kind of an understanding of what your body does. It pushes out the chemicals. Now, the mind not knowing the difference, this is profound. This is why whenever you are in theta mode, you can do a hypnosis and somebody can talk right to your subconscious mind, and your subconscious mind then takes that programming, right? Because what is the subconscious? The subconscious mind is your programming station. It's your automatic systems, okay? It's your habitual systems. It's the automatic. It's what's being programmed whenever you're not thinking, okay? Because mind you, if you're thinking, if you're thinking, then you're not doing an action, because you're not doing both. You're not going to be thinking and doing something. And if you are, what's controlling you while you're thinking? Exactly. You got a subconscious. You got an automatic system that knows what to do whenever you're doing something different. Okay? So, you can reprogram that subconscious mind to do, think, and feel anything. Okay? Or you can use your frontal lobe, okay, to aware, alert, consciously manifest the things that you want by using visualizations, meditations, and affirmations to help you to perceive what you want to be and to turn the chemical, basically to perceive the world how you want to perceive it, while using emotional capabilities to trigger the mind's imagery, to trigger the chemicals in the body, to bring out the experiences to you through the subconscious mind. I know that this was a lot of information. You may want to watch this video a good 1 to 10 times. I recommend it. I also recommend this. I recommend you send this to everyone. Post it on your Facebook in Jesus' name. Help many people, as possible get to, watch this and get to have the understanding of how to change their life through this video. Because I do believe, that science has finally broke it down to us, and I try to break it down to you guys. I'm not gonna say break it down because y'all are very intellectual, but I try to articulate it in a way that, you guys can visualize with me and understand it to a point where you can even then apply it simply to bring the things that you want to you effortlessly. Okay, while understanding, oh, this is what Cherie Rose was telling me. Oh, this is what Cherie Rose was telling me. She was telling me this. Oh, Cherie Rose meant this. And then once you manifest the things that you want in your life, then you'll be able to be like, okay, I got this down. I am the master of my genetics. I'm the master of my world. I co-create. I am the, maker of my internal kingdom. I create the heaven within my body and then see the heaven outside of my body. And that's definitely the experience that you'll get after watching, reviewing, and applying this video to your life. So I definitely hope that this has helped you with your breakthroughs. As many times as you watch this, each time you'll get a new profound understanding, I'm sure. And each time you watch this, even myself, I rewatch this, and I know this, and I still rewatch it, and I'm like, dang, like that, a new thing pops into my mind each time when I watch these videos. I don't just tell you guys these things. I study these things, and then I tell you as I learn them, and then I relearn them, and I learn them in a different way, and then whenever I watch it, I'm like, oh wow, da 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 da, and then we make the next video, so as I learn, I teach, and constantly show you guys and constantly tell you guys how the evolution works, and how we can get results by working together, and how there's power in numbers. And this is why it's important for you guys to book your breakthrough sessions, because if the knowledge that I am giving you is profound enough to change your life, then a session with me, even if we're not talking about these things, then a session with me would definitely help. But anyways, I'm not here to promote. I'm here to, I'm here to drop this knowledge on y'all so that maybe you would want to, use it in different ways, and tell me how it's helped you guys in the comment section below. Like, share, comment, subscribe. If you're sending prayers for me, thank you so much, and I send them back to you threefold, tenfold. I love y'all. I care for y'all. I support y'all. Please do comment and let me know what you guys think, or if you guys want me to post videos of different things that maybe you're going through, that I have some advice or insight on that I can help you guys with. And I also am always open to help and to, prayers and to manifestations for myself as well that are for my highest good. So, I appreciate those of you who put good things in the ethers for me as well. And God bless you guys. Stay blessed and never stressed, with much peace, much power, much love, and much joy. I'll see you guys on my next video.